Hello there everybody, this is Lane, and it's time for another Mario plush battle. On the left we have the Super Nintendo World Luigi Plush, and on the right we have the All-Star Collection Luigi Plush. So which one's better? Well, let's find out. So basically how this is going to work out is I'm going to be comparing both Luigi plushes to official renders of Luigi from 2002 onwards. And so basically, if a specific plush does a specific feature of the character design a lot better, they're gonna win a point, and whichever plush reaches up to 10 points will win the plush battle. So now the Super Nintendo World Luigi plush, I bought him used off of Macari. He actually came in a lot with another Super Nintendo World Mario, so now I have two small-sized Super Nintendo World Mario plushes. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with like this one. Maybe I'll use it for something, or maybe give it away to like a friend or something, or relative. But that's beside the point. So the Luigi I bought was used. He did not have his paper tag, but basically what the paper tag looks like, and it goes for both the Japan and Hollywood plushes, is that the paper tags, it's like this big vertical rectangle. It's in a gray background. It even has like some 2D artwork of the characters and everything. Has Super Nintendo World logo and everything, and yeah, that's kind of pretty much it. And then the back just has like some legal info and the price tag for the plush. It's very simple, very universal, pun intended, and yeah, so now let's go into the Sine All-Star Collection Luigi tag. And one thing I really like about the Super Mario All-Star Collection plushes is that the paper tags are very like unique. Like they're not like very versatile. They're each character has like a unique paper tag with like a render of the character. And on the back, has legal info and the company names. Interesting that because I think when in my previous plush battle where I compared the All-Star Collection Mario to the Super Nintendo World Mario, the paper tag on that Mario just only had the Sine logo. It's interesting that they added the little buddy logo at the bottom. But I'm guessing the reason they probably did that was because, so they could put nothing on this side of the paper tag, because that was usually when they had the the distributed by Lil Buddy thing, because yeah, this is a US release of the All-Star Luigi plush. Because I love the uniqueness of the All-Star Collection tags, I'm gonna give the Sine All-Star Collection Luigi plush a point for having a more unique paper tag. Alright, so now we get to the tush tags. So this round will really vary depending on which country you bought them from, because with the Sine All-Star Collection plushes, if you buy like the Japanese plushes, they're the touch tags are a lot smaller. They just say Super Mario, and the back just says Sine on it. But if you have the North American plushes, or basically the plushes that Little Buddy distributes, you get like these longer touch tags. That do have the Super Mario logo and a copyright date and everything, and even a little Sine logo on here. And the back just has stuff, about the specific materials and how to wash them. And yeah, that's kind of pretty much it. Whereas the Super Nintendo World Luigi plush, so this is the Japanese one in particular. So the Japanese releases of the Super Nintendo World plushes, they have like a little red touch tag that says Super Nintendo World on it, and then another white touch tag that says Universal Studios Japan, and the back just has the copyright Universal Studios. And yeah, and then for the Hollywood releases, originally it was just like a giant white touch tag that said like Super Nintendo and Universal. But when Super Nintendo World actually when it actually opened to the public, in Hollywood, they redid the touch tags. So now, I mean, they're still like big and everything, and have like pretty much, you know, the same stuff, you know, but it's actually like, red and it's colored, like the Japanese touch tags. So yeah, so it really kind of depends on like which country you bought them from, but because I like the colored touch tags on the Super Nintendo World plushes, I'm gonna give the Super Nintendo World Luigi the point for having a more colorful touch tag. You know what? Why not? How about we add another criteria, a very unique criteria that we did not do on the Mario plush battle video, and let's talk about the scaling. So it seems like, let's say the Mario is like 9.5 inches, and the Luigi would probably be around 10 or 10.5 inches. So it seems like the All-Star Collection, you know, because the All-Star Collection plush has like a longer head, it seems to be just a tad bit taller than the Super Nintendo World Luigi plush. But let's compare each Mario, since, you know, they're pretty much around the same height. So for the SNES All-Star Collection, Luigi and Mario, I think they scale really well. In case you don't know, Mario is supposed to be slightly shorter than Luigi. And so you could see, I mean, you probably can't see it good on camera or something. I'll see if I can. But yeah, Luigi is slightly taller than Mario, like he should be. Whereas in the Super Nintendo World plushes, they don't stand up as good as the All-Star Collection plushes, but, and it might be difficult to tell, but you could definitely see that. Okay, I'm probably not doing the camera any justice, but yeah, but the Luigi is still slightly taller. Yeah, I really thought that this was gonna be like a tie or something, but no, I think because Luigi kind of has a longer head, he seems to be much more closer in scale to the All-Star Collection Mario, which I kind of find like really interesting, you know, because like, you know, considering that, you know, these two Mario plushes were around like the exact same height, I kind of thought that the Luigi's would be too, but no, it seems like the All-Star Collection Luigi is a bit taller, and I think that might be more accurate. So this is gonna be a real shocker, because I was predicting it was gonna be a tie or something, but no, I'm gonna have to give the SNES All-Star Collection Luigi plush for being a bit more taller. Alright, let's talk about the emblems. So here's what the emblem on the Super Nintendo World plush looks like, and here's what the emblem on the SNES All-Star Collection Luigi looks like. They're pretty similar. The only real difference is that the white is made of a slightly fluffier. The only difference is that the white is made out of a fluffier material compared to the All-Star one. And I definitely feel like the emblem itself feels a bit more tight compared to the the All-Star one. I'm not sure. I mean, both of them look like really, I mean, the shape is pretty much identical. It just really has some to, it just really just like boils down to like you know, like which one might be a bit more size accurate. Upon closer inspection, I kind of feel like the emblem on the Super Nintendo World plush looks closest to the official renders. So the point for the emblem will go to the Super Nintendo World Luigi. Alright, so now we're going to be talking about the brims. So the All-Star Collection Luigi, the problem with a lot of the hats on SNES's plushes is that they kind of have a hard time, you know, like standing in place, because a lot of times it might have to do something with like how they're like bagged or something, because, you know, these plushes oftentimes, you know, like, they can, like, come in bags. But, yeah, I mean, like, every time, you know, I try to, you know, put the brim up a bit, it just wouldn't, like, it won't do it. It'll always be down to the point where you can't really see his eyebrows. And it's a little too short, you know, so it doesn't, like, reach to his sideburns or even anywhere close to it. The Super Nintendo World plush, on the other hand, fixes this issue. I'm not sure how they were able to do it, but the brim on the Super Nintendo World Luigi, it will hold into place so you can see his eyebrows a lot better. Mine is oddly stuffed. The Super Nintendo World Luigi gets a point for having a better, much more accurate brim. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the hair. So, you know what the back of Luigi's hair looks like. I'll show you an image or a toy of it. So the Super Nintendo World Mario plush, in my previous plush battle, his hair looked a lot better than on the All-Stars Mario plush, because you could really tell that this looks much closer to the renders. This one feels more like an attempt to, you know, try to replicate the renders, but I mean the point is, this one had much better hair. But then you get to the Super Nintendo World Luigi, and it's pretty much exactly the same as the Mario. Like, they, like, they just really, like, skipped out on the back of Luigi's hair. Whereas the All-Star Collection Luigi, it definitely looks a lot more like Luigi's back hair. So even though the hair on this one is not quite as accurately dark, I definitely do think the back hair on this one looks better. So I'm gonna give the All-Star Collection Luigi a point for having better hair. Alright, now let's get to the eyebrows. So, I'll put Luigi out of the way. So yeah, this is what the All-Star Collection eyebrows look like. They're a little thin. And then here's what the Super Nintendo World eyebrows look like. They actually look a lot more identical than I actually anticipated. So yeah, so the eyebrows look more or less identical, and yeah, which is, I'm kind of surprised, because the All-Star Collection Mario had much better, you know, more thicker eyebrows, but for Luigi it's exactly the same. So I guess it really just kind of boils down to how perfectly sized they are to the, you know, to the eyes themselves, which we'll cover later. And it looks like the Super Nintendo World Luigi, I think the eyebrows on this one are like a closer scale to the eyes themselves. So this point goes to the Super Nintendo World plush. Now let's get on to the eyes themselves. Both eyes are embroidered and they look really nice. Though I definitely do feel like the pupils, I think the pupil size is pretty good, but I feel like the irises aren't thick enough, and they're also missing the dark blue highlight under the white highlight. Whereas the All-Star Luigi, they definitely got it right on the All-Star Luigi. So, and you can definitely tell on my Luigi, the eyes are a little bit closer than on my Super Nintendo World Luigi. I'm not sure if all Luigis are like that, but if we're going by just the looks of the eyes, I definitely think the SNES All-Star Collection Luigi, I think they win a point for having more accurate looking eyes. Alright, let's critique his big nose, because yeah, Luigi actually has a bigger nose than Mario. And yeah, both of them are pretty identical, surprisingly. I mean, the All-Star one definitely goes a bit more farther out than the Nintendo World one, but yeah, I mean, the size and just like, that's pretty much identical, because like Mario's nose is sort of like an oval, while Luigi's nose is pretty much a circle, and I think both plushes do a great job of making his nose look like a circle. You could definitely tell the All-Star one has like these seams It kind of looks like a cross or a plus sign. And it definitely does look a bit distracting, I would say. So, I actually really thought the All-Star Collection Luigi was going to get the point for having a better nose, but no, I'm actually going to give that point to the Super Nintendo World Luigi instead. I actually kind of like the nose on that one a little better. Alright, let's talk mustaches. And Luigi, I definitely do like how the mustache turned out. I think Luigi's bumps are a lot more defined compared to on the All-Star Collection one, where you could barely like make out the bump that Luigi is supposed to have. And yeah, I mean for the most part, the sizes of the mustache is identical, but on this particular one that I have, it's definitely, they made it a bit longer, which I don't think is quite as accurate. So I'm actually going to give the mustache point to the Super Nintendo World Luigi. Okay, let's talk about the shape of the heads, because it's a lot more different compared to on the Super Nintendo World and SNES Mario's, because, you know, they pretty much have the exact same, you know, shape of their heads. But Luigi, oh, it's definitely a lot different. Personally, I think the All-Star Collection Luigi, I feel like I like the shape of his head better on the Super Nintendo World Luigi, because I think it's appropriately thin enough, because if you look at the official render from, like, say, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, you can definitely tell that his mustache is kinda bigger, to the point where you can not really see his cheeks as much compared to Mario's. And so I definitely feel like they replicated that look of Luigi a lot better on the All-Star Collection one, whereas the Super Nintendo World one, it's not bad by any means, but I mean you're not really supposed to like see his cheeks all that much. It's supposed to be more like, it's supposed to look more like this, I would say. Yeah, something like this. And it's kind of a shame that Universal wasn't able to, you know, accurately replicate that. So I'd say in terms of like the shape of the heads, I definitely feel like the All-Star Collection Luigi should get that point. Alright, so far the Super Nintendo World Luigi Plush has 6 points, while the SNES All-Star Collection Luigi has 5 points. So yeah, I was kind of surprised, because if you watched my previous plush battle with, you know, like with their Mario counterparts, the All-Star Collection Mario just did not have a chance. I felt like the Super Nintendo World Mario just had so much, you know, so many improvements over the over any of SNES's Mario's. But for the Luigi one, the All-Star Collection Luigi actually did have some things that I like better on that one than the Nintendo World Luigi. So it's pretty interesting that they're almost like neck and neck. So the Super Nintendo World Luigi, since it has the most amount of points by like 1, it only needs like 4 more points to win. So let's continue the plush battle and look at his body. Alright, let's start off with the arms. So the arms on the Super Nintendo World plush, it's way too short. I feel like, judging by the artwork, I feel like Luigi's arms should be like around like here, but it's right there. The Luigi one, it's definitely a little bit longer. It definitely goes down a little bit more. And yeah, you could just compare the hands. So yeah, so I'm actually going to give the All-Star Collection Luigi a point for having longer arms. The fists, on the other hand, I definitely think the Super Nintendo World one definitely looks a lot more closer to the renders, especially with the glove bumps. They're like little ovals compared to the All-Star ones, where they're pretty much like long lines, but they should be just like small little ovals. And their fists, you know, look a lot more rounder compared to like the All-Star one. So yeah, so even though the arms on the Super Nintendo World Luigi are short, I'll at least give them the point for having better gloves. Alright, now let's talk about the overalls themselves. So, the All-Star Collection, basically ever since the Super Mario Galaxy set of plushes, they kind of made it to where the overalls on Mario and Luigi are... they pretty much like make the top half of their overalls separate, while the bottom is like part of the shirt itself. So it's a pretty cool technique, and it does the job done. But I definitely do think the overalls look a lot cooler on this one because they're removable, sort of like the Mario Party plushes that Sine released almost like 20 years ago. Wow, it's been so long. And I really like the material that they use, you know, because it feels more like the type of material you would find in overalls compared to the Sine one, which is just softness. And I also feel like the overalls, I initially thought that the overalls looked a bit too dark, but comparing them to some of like the newer renders, I definitely think that's a little more accurate. Though there are like some like other like pieces of renders and artwork, you know, like that also have the overalls in like this type of color. So I mean, yeah, I'd say both colors are sort of accurate, but I do kind of prefer the overalls being separate and just the type of material. So I'm gonna give the Super Nintendo World Luigi a point for having better overalls. Alright, button, who's got the button? We're going to be talking about the buttons on Luigi's overalls, and as you can see on the Super Nintendo World plush, they are embroidered on very well, actually. I think the embroidery on the Super Nintendo World plushes are actually like really great. I was kind of worried. I wasn't really into the idea of the buttons being embroidered at first, because I kind of thought, you know, it would just make them look cheap. But no, they actually look really nice, and they actually kind of have that gold shine to it. Same goes for the Mario as well. Whereas the All-Star Collection Luigi, the buttons are made of a felt material that's just like simply glued on. Over time, the glue will probably fall off. You don't have to worry about that with embroidery, but with like felt, I mean, you kind of run the risk, and you could definitely see that, you know, it's not always going to be like perfectly placed. When I looked at the buttons on the Marios, it was definitely it was a tie, but now that I'm starting to look at the Luigi's in the set, I'm kind of starting to I think I've finally made up my mind and say that I'm gonna give the Super Nintendo World Luigi the point for having embroidered buttons. I actually kind of think I like the embroidered buttons on this one better than the felt buttons on this one. So yeah, I'm just as surprised as you are, but yeah, I actually kind of like the embroidered buttons a little better. All right, now let's take a look at the shoes. So the Sine All-Star Collection shoes, they're pretty good. I mean, they get the job done. And the Super Nintendo World ones, they also get the job done too. The colors are exactly the same, so we don't have to judge by their color accuracy. But what we can judge is the fact that the Super Nintendo World Luigi has like the detail, has like that soul detail on it, which I think looks really nice. The Mario had it too. And yeah, so this is I definitely finally have a definitive answer. The last point should go to the Super Nintendo World Luigi plush.
Hey Mario. Hey, what is it, Luigi? Do you want to go kill someone? Okie dokie. There can only be room for one Luigi.
You said it, bro.
Oh yeah, Luigi number one. Luigi number one. Ho ho!
Sorry, All-Star Luigi. You were definitely a much better attempt at making an accurate Luigi than the Mario. But at the end of the day, you were only able to get 6 points. And with 10 points, the winner of this plush battle is the Super Nintendo World Luigi plush. this is the small Luigi, around like 10 or 10.5 inches, and he retails for $20, and you can only get him at Universal Studios Japan and Universal Studios Hollywood. Now, please do not get the wrong idea that I hate the All-Star Collection Luigi plush. In fact, I actually really like this plush. I definitely feel like the shape of the head looks much more like Luigi compared to the Super Nintendo World plush. And I definitely do like the eyes and the hair on this one a lot better. So I definitely think, and if you can't afford the Super Nintendo World Luigi plush because you either just can't go to the Universal parks or you know, you don't feel like, you know, paying the ridiculous prices of these plushes on like eBay or something, there's definitely nothing inherently wrong with the All-Star Collection Luigi plush, because I think it's still a great Luigi plush for $15, and you can get them at most like retail stores. So yeah, I mean, no hard feelings towards the All-Star Collection Luigi plush. But personally, I definitely do feel like the Super Nintendo World Luigi plush, I mean, no joke, I was actually rooting for the All-Star Collection Luigi to win, but at the end of the day, the Super Nintendo World Luigi plush just definitely looks a lot better, in my opinion. It's definitely a much nicer looking Luigi plush, and he still scales fine with Mario. Well, let me know what you think about this plush battle. Were you surprised to see the Super Nintendo World Luigi plush win, or do you like the All-Star Collection Luigi a lot better? Again, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you are subscribed to the channel, make sure to ring the notification bell so you won't miss out on any videos that I produce. I'll see you real soon. Same Luigi time, same Luigi channel.